Welcome to Snooze with Sam, and another adventure with Sam. I hope you've all had a good week so far. I'm not sure what day it is today. One, because I'm not sure what day this will be out, but also I genuinely can't remember what day it is today. Who's counting anyway? What difference does it make? Today we are going on a little stroll down to the little Torrance of Torrance, would you believe it? It's a place called Torrance. We are about half an hour north of Glasgow, in a place just south of the Campsie Hills. Buried in autumnal woodland, we're beneath so many leafless trees. Some still holding onto their leaves resiliently and intending on keeping them, no doubt, but likely with one windy day, which is going to happen. It is Scotland after all. They'll probably be lost to the earth below as well, to join the rest. It's a sunny kind of day today. It's always hard to know whether it truly is sunny or not, when the sun never really climbs up very high. It's late November. The air is very cold and fresh. I don't have any gloves on, but you do. And you also have a scarf and a hat to keep yourself nice and cosy on this nearly freezing day. Early this morning there was a frost, but because we've climbed up a couple of degrees since then, become a little bit more comfortable and most of the frost has now given way. Much like everywhere this time of year, here is no different. Beneath our feet, thousands and thousands of all sorts of shades of fallen leaf. Some, having been fallen evidently for months already, have started to break down and become at one with the earth again. Some are still fairly fresh, you can tell, looking very similar to the leaves above her, the few leaves that are still above her head. You can just crouch down and can pick up a few in your hands and just feel how crisp they are. Despite the dampness of some of the rain that's fallen the last couple of days. It's still so nice to the touch. This reminds you of being a big kid every time you went and either buried yourself in leaves, or made leaf angels, or started kicking them around, spraying your friends with them. Never fails to bring out the child in anybody. Big piles of fallen leaves. Our path underfoot is largely leaves as well, but beneath that there's little gravel patches that you can see of the original path. But we're not really interested in following a path today. I think we'll just go wherever we want to go and see where the horizon takes us. If you look just down below us, there's a wee stream that you can hear just tinkling away. Water falling off the hill, making its way south, following the lay of the land. Flowing over little rocks and boulders, finding the easiest path of which it can eventually go down and join the sea. From here, I think we should aim to try and find some more invigorating water, because in the distance, if you listen really carefully, you can hear the sounds of a raging river. And I think we should go and find it. So how about we set off? But first of all, what I'd actually like to do, how about you reach up to that leaf up there, just on the tree. It is an oak leaf. Just feel that crunch in your fingers, it's so crisp. These ones are still hanging on. All dry and curled up. Yeah, they're just waiting for a storm to come and blow them clean off. But we'll leave them. They've earned their right to stay on their branches so far. Let's take a walk down the path. So all around us on the woodland floor, it's largely brown ferns and old tired bracken that's already begun its decomposition process, just waiting for the spring to come around next year. Beneath them, little weed saplings poke up from the ground underneath. All the leaves that have fallen are still green in there. Always year-round greenery, always growing. It's a wonderful thing with nature, isn't it? It always finds a way just to thrive regardless of climate, regardless of the temperature or what time of year it is. Nature will always prevail. Just minding your feet on the slippery grass. It's just across the path where gravel wears thin, the wilderness takes over. And they can be a little bit slippery sometimes where the path gets muddy, and there's already been a couple of frosts this year, but just do that little bit to churn up the earth beneath your feet and just get everything a bit smushy. just as we go down this steep bit of the hill. Mind your feet. Just crossing these leaves. It's getting a bit springier underfoot. It gets so soft and then compact again. The terrain really varies. Mind your head ducking underneath these branches. If you're as inconveniently tall as me, you end up brushing them with your head regardless. That's it, just dip yourself underneath them. You may be able to hear the sound of the water getting closer and closer. See, it's all opening up now as we come down the hill. The glen at the bottom, bottoming out, and we can definitely hear the water getting closer. Something I always love about the trees in winter is that they just take on a completely different appearance compared to spring and summer. Doesn't seem to matter what trees they are, but they seem to adopt this wintry, mossy blanket on their bark. Just go and have a feel of one now. Get up nice and close. Just run your hands all over that bark. So fascinating. It is literally as if they put on a jacket for winter. And that, coupled with losing their leaves, makes them seem quite old, as opposed to their youthful, lush and rich, leafy spring and summer appearance. There's a little branch just fallen from the top of the tree. There you go. Sometimes I always have to look up just in case. Further down the hill we come, wading through all the bronze and amber leaves. Back onto the path. And you may be able to hear the tweets and the little song of small birds. Very likely little robins and chaffinches, or anything else particularly diminutive. Here we've reached a point where we're going to have to climb down, so if you feel you have to scoot on your bum, feel free to do so. But the bank just drops down maybe 3 or 4 feet, grassy lip. So when you're ready, here you go. Good stuff. He didn't fall. That's always a plus. Let's go a little bit further in then. Again, the leaves getting thicker and thicker underfoot. And now where we are, there's even more yellows to the leaves that have fallen here. Cedar leaves. Beautiful. Little pointed, three-pronged. I think they're cedar, maybe they're not actually. Either way, on a cold day with a numb brain, I can't quite remember what they are. There's some more as well that are equally as orangey and vibrant yellow that almost look like maple leaves. Same kind of shape. Absolutely stunning. Up above us, we're now beneath some evergreens. Definitely the kinds of trees that would nest a little heron in or a buzzard. As the name suggests, they have more than retained their needles. There's no danger of that. Every time I see quite a soft needled pine tree, it just reminds me of monkey puzzles. I don't know why, because anybody who's ever encountered a monkey puzzle tree will tell you that they're definitely not soft spined, they're the exact opposite. But up on Skye at a place called Armadale, there's a castle and gardens that I used to explore a lot when I was a lot younger. And in these gardens there was a monkey puzzle tree, and I was fascinated by it. I was just amazed at how spiny and sharp their foliage could be. I didn't really think it was real. But that's until a branch falls off and then you spike your finger with it and it hurts a lot, and then you definitely realise it's real. As we walk farther along the little path that we're on now, the leaves have given up a little underfoot just because we've moved from out underneath some of the tallest trees. Here we are. At the bottom of the Campsie Glen. We're now looking down upon the wild torrents of the burn that runs all the way down from high up in the hills. It's not so steep at this bit, so the water runs gently. As you can see and hear, there is still a lot of it. There's not been so much rainfall the last 2-3 days, but all this water will take days and days to ever reach the sea. So standing here on the bank, it's about a 12-foot slope down onto the rocks that line the burn itself. And from there, it spans 30 or 40 feet to the other side. Full of boulders and moss-covered rocks and fallen leaves and ancient old bits of wood that have likely been pulled down from the hills above and just deposited where they catch a jaggy rock. There's a lot to look at in here. It's a very busy little burn. Technically there's only one source of water, but it divides up into so many little individual streams. They all look like their own. Some of the water disappears off to the right, and some off to the left. Some bits flowing fast, and some bits flowing slowly. In a place where nothing much moves, the land and the scenery around us stays fairly still. There's very little breeze, and the treetops only sway very, very gently. It could be a photograph or a painting for the most part, even though we're here watching it all happen. It makes the flowing river below seem so energetic. Little points where it flows fastest, generating bubbles and oxygenated pools. So full of energy in a place that seems, for the most part, very sleepy. On the far side, the bank rises steeply again. Long grasses and ferns covering it. So many fallen leaves in between. If it weren't for such a cold day, I'd suggest we actually go for a paddle or a swim even. I don't know about you, I feel quite precious about keeping hold of my toes and not losing them to frostbite. So maybe another time. As the early evening rolls in, the sky is getting dimmer. The light lessens a bit. And everywhere feels like it's just settling down for the night. Close your eyes for a second. Remove any visual prompts. Only listen to the hissing white noise of the water flowing beneath us. And now just focus on everything you've seen. Imagine the water falling down the gentle gradient, butting up against rocks and logs, changing its path. Flowing this way and that way, left and right. Sometimes seeming to flow backwards. And now picture all of those lovely autumnal leaves scattered on the woodland floor. Every one of them once belonging to its own tree. Every one of them part of the life cycle. Imagine it all. Keep your eyes closed. Let the sound of the soothing water lull you and lull you further away.